Hello guys, and welcome back to part 3 of making pixel art character and fully animating it. My name is Elliot Greenwood, and today we're gonna start working on walk animation. Now, walking animations usually have 8 frames, or it could have 6 frames, depends on what kind of pixel art game it is. It could have 2 frames. But since my game has more of a detail, so clearly it will be having more frames. Now I'm gonna start with the same character that we designed at the very beginning. Of course, I'd add some fixes to the shading, add some shading on the edges, fixed some spots around the body, and that already, as you can see, it increases the better feel to it. This looks a little bit more dirty, but this shading on the edges of the cap fixed it up. So the first thing that I want to do is to separate all body parts to each layer. And just using the already existing textures, gonna cover up this body. Just like that, nicely fix up the edges, and there we go. Also, I can remove the cap, and there we go. Now we have all body parts separated in each layer. That's actually how I should have started, just with the pieces. So let's just start with the animations. And the first thing that I'm gonna animate is the right leg, because that's what I care the most about. So just gonna remove other parts so they wouldn't bother me. As you can see here, this is gonna be our highest point. Now animating this leg is gonna be a little bit tricky. So now we need to add 3 more layers where the leg will be at the front and at the back. Duplicate the layers right over here. So at the very back position is going to be somewhere around here maybe. Actually, let's just go from scratch. Why not? Duplicate another layer and just move this leg away. Turn on the onion mode, select the color. We're gonna need to add a leg going like this. But of course, the most important thing is try to keep the same pixel amount in the area. Make it a little bit bent like this. This is gonna be the knee part. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Add like this. So that's gonna be the backstage of the leg. Now we're gonna make a front one somewhere right here where it connects the ground. Let's see if that matches positions. Just gonna move this layer forward. Looks like we can move this leg somewhere right here. And we can already see 3 stages of the cycle. But now it pretty much looks like I'm making a run animation, but that will be fine. So now I'm going to create in between frames, and in between frames is basically the leg positions right here and right here. So we're just gonna start with this one because this one looks more simple. That looks about right. And we're gonna maybe change this leg to make it as if it's mid-air, like this. And then it just hits the floor somewhere right here. Now usually when it comes to animating, I always start from the legs, because when I get the leg positions done, I can tell where the body is gonna lift up and down. Now we can pretty much already see when the leg is lifted, hits the ground, slides just like this. Now there's one more frame that we need, and it's the leg position when it's crossing the legs. Basically what it means, the leg is mid-air and bent, traveling forward. Something just like this. So now I'm just gonna remove the onion layer and just see if these animations work out pretty well. So first layer is gonna be this one, then it hits the floor, goes to the top stage, slides further up, and just like this. So let's just fix up the leg values. Okay, I don't see many issues, and I can tell that I'm actually making a run animation instead of walk, so I guess that will do. Episode 3 is gonna be the run animations, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so now we can start working on the shading and coloring the legs. Gives the twisty animation. Not a big fan of this leg. Moves too far away. That's the correct value. That looks about right. So now let's just shade it. Okay, so the leg is done, and let's see if the animation of leg is playing well. Now this frame right here plays out pretty weird, so maybe I'm just gonna remove these lines right here, this pixel right here. So let's check again. That's too much pixels. It's just outlines are adding too much, and that seems about right. So now I'm just gonna fix up the lines because I shaded off some lines as well. So 6 frames, it's usual amount for the running animation. It fits quite well. Let's just change this pixel right here. Now there's a cool part about making animations. I did leave this leg right here, but this leg is gonna be useful on this frame, 6th frame, so I can move out the other legs. I'm just simply gonna copy this leg. I need to activate this one now. Just gonna copy this leg. Now just first get the legs in the right orders. So now let's just fix the positions of the legs. And as you can see here, if the legs would get the correct position, they're pretty much playing the correct animation. Now I need to set up the body position. This is gonna be the highest point. So this is gonna be the midpoint. This is gonna be the lowest point. This is gonna be the midpoint. So it gets high again. This doesn't look right. And let's just adjust the cap accordingly. This will increase the more interesting look for the running cycle. And let's just fix the legs positions. and it seems like it looks alright. So now we just need to add outlines to complete the leg. Okay, now let's check if this loop is playing perfectly. Perfect. And if you had more frames, the faster it will run. And that's how you make the walking animation. In this case is running. Okay, now that we got legs working and the torso is playing accordingly, we're gonna need to shade them legs properly as well. Gonna turn off the body, remove the onion layer, and I can just by tone shade them off down. This will just indicate that the leg is behind the character. And there we go. We have a nice animation. Now we're gonna edit the arm. So we're gonna turn this on. So for now I'm just going to adjust the height together with the body. And this could be enough, but adding more hand swaying will make this animation even better. So now I just need to decide which frame has this arm position. Okay, let's just try this. I'm gonna use rotation. And I lost the limb. Set the arm in the middle and rotate. I'm gonna put in the same pixel right here. Now this is like the very furthest stage, so this arm is done. It can stay here. Now it doesn't have to be such an aggressive swing, but I think that makes the running more powerful. So we have low leg when it's fully standing. I mean arm down when it's straight up standing. So this arm goes away then as well. So we managed to save 4 frames just through careful thinking. So now the idea of the animation is basically gonna be the arm going like this, and the next one is gonna go like this. So let's just try to recreate this, and let's just work on the hands. So let's see if I will be able to copy this arm and paste it into another frame and rotate it. And I feel like it actually fits. Yet the swinging arm is a little bit too low. And now we're gonna create another layer, left arm, and we're gonna copy the same arm into the behind of the character to show that this character has another hand behind. So if the arm is in the middle, it's gonna be in the middle as well on the other side. So let's just move the arm behind the body, because that's what it is. So now we need to place them in the right place. Now assuming that the shoulder of the right side is here, the left side is going to be somewhere around here. And just like that, we created full running animation. But before I finish, I'm going to darken this arm as well by 2 levels. And there we go. But actually that's not all. Now we're gonna get to the left leg and we're gonna add more shading where the parts are below the belly. Okay, and let's shade it left arm a little bit more. Looks a little bit under shaded. And now the body part shading. Basically we're gonna add darker outlines around the limbs. Okay, so I fixed up the colors and now the whole thing looks smooth. Let's increase the speed to 12 frames per second and it looks like a normal animation, running animation. And whenever the cap goes down more, I could just make the neck shrink a little bit. And the head is wobbling. Let's just double check. I would say that's about it. So yeah, I guess in the next part we're gonna make a walk animation and maybe work on jumping and landing animations, which are basically either 1 or 2 frames. I think this thing turned out pretty well, so I guess that's about it. If you want to learn how to use PiskelApp, you can find a video tutorial that I made in the description down below. I'm gonna leave a link there that you can click and watch anytime you want. In the next part I'm going to make a walk cycle, which basically has the same principle of just drawing one leg and just copy and pasting it on the other side. That way it will save you a lot of time drawing it and the animations will be perfectly looped. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.